Hello and welcome to Sports by Compian. My name, of course, is Stephen Compian, your host, the guy wearing a shirt that you really need pads, otherwise it looks kind of silly. But we're out here. Central Jersey Hawks representing. And we're also joined here by my co-host, the man who knows who the top 5 passers are in the XFL. The man who researches and finds answers to our questions. Corey Compian, here to tell us all the stuff and some of the things as well. Corey, how are you?
Fantastic. Recently returned from the gym with one very handsome Christopher Compian. We had what I lovingly refer to as a bullshit day. All the bullshit muscles you don't work out in other times, such as
Love
calves,
that.
forearms, and trapeze. You gotta do your bullshit day, or
Gotta have your bullshit day.
gotta have
Love
a
it.
bullshit day.
It's very nice. Very nice. Corey, today we were going to be talking about our 2 favorite things right now in the spring, since there's not a lot of else to watch: MLR and UFL. We're on this, dude. We're on this now.
United Football League.
United Football League, because it's the 2 football leagues coming together.
They're being friends.
They're being friends to survive. But anyway, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about MLR. Mostly we're going to talk about a couple games with all these things. But we do have some standings for you guys. We got cool information. Stats are out there, man. We're going to talk about them. Corey, you excited about all this?
Dude, I am so goddamn excited.
As you should be. As you should be. Now, listen, Sports by Compian fans, if you're wondering what I was doing just now, don't anymore. Because we're going to talk about the Chicago Hounds traveling all the way, Corey, so far, all the way out to San Diego. It's just, what a trip. So, in the distant, whole other side. No, not quite, because they're in the Midwest. But anyway, they went all the way out there, dude, and they handed them a loss. First loss that the San Diego Legion have had in almost over a year. Almost a year, I mean. It's been a lot of victory over there in San Diego. Like, those fans get loud. It is a tough environment to win in. But Chicago goes in there and gets the job done. Quite a game. This one was super back and forth. Chicago was taking every chance for penalties they could find. Shout out the 8-man, I believe it was, from the Legion, played his heart out. Rumble had himself a game, dude. The captain for the Hounds showed up to play. Had a key turnover deep in Chicago territory. Was running the ball super well. I believe he had a try as well. It was quite a back and forth game, as I mentioned. Anyone could have won this, but Chicago just did what they do well. They kept on pounding and pounding and pounding, and they didn't panic, didn't lose possession of the ball, and San Diego eventually would give up the try. So the whole second half started off with San Diego just had tons of possession. They did get some tries, not as many as they needed to, and then the back half of that second half, the last 20 minutes. Chicago was like, all right, no, but now we want the ball, and we want to score. Okay, cool. Now we're just going to do whatever for these next 5. So, yeah, it was, like I said, Corey, fantastic game. Really good rugby. The Hounds find themselves 6-1, baby. Let's go. Top of the league.
Yeah. How about that? Quite a turnaround.
Well, I mean, it's crazy. Well, this is their 3rd year now. Year 1, they were kind of figuring it out, but still were kind of competitive. Yeah, well, they were still figuring it out. They were very much looking for their first win there for a while. Year 2, they're already in the conference championship, and then year 3, they're out here leading the league right now. So, shout out the Hounds. They're doing the Lord's work. They just need to keep their players out of D3 so they'll have more fans. Moving on, SaberCats, after a huge win against the Legion last week, find themselves on the end of a defeat against LA. LA stacks 2 victories now. As we mentioned last week, they had a crazy back and forth game with Old Glory that they ended up coming up on top of. And now they get a massive win over the SaberCats. LA making some noise out there in the West, where it's hard to get wins in that division over there, Core. They're really mean to each other. Some of them beat each other.
Not beatings. Do they maybe tackle each other?
They tackle each other. If you're trying to score a try, they'll just tackle you, dude. They don't even care.
Sounds like that 49ers Seattle division, where they're just... Where's the 49ers in Seattle? Where I think it's Seattle, Cardinals, and Rams.
The NFC West.
Yeah, we're just nobody can ever have anything nice. We're just all going to trade, and we're all going to go exactly 50-50.
Well, they got these boys split up into two conferences. There's no division, so yeah, everyone in the West is definitely more frisky than the East, at least right now. Shout out the Free Jackets, who now have stacked 2 wins in a row. Guess what? The champs find themselves back in second place in their division. And they're right behind. Well, they're not right behind the Hounds, but they are at a nice 4-2 now, I believe. So they've sort of recovered, really thought about their lives, like this losing stuff. We don't like it. We're former champions.
Do we want to do this?
Yeah, no. So they're back. They're doing the Lord's work. They might be 3-3. No, I think they're 4-2. Good for them, man. Quite a turnaround for the Free Jackets. They're back to playing good Free Jacket games. That is pretty much all I wanted to say here about the MLR, dude. I mean, as I mentioned, Hounds find themselves at the top. So yes, Old Glory and the Free Jackets are both tied behind the Hounds at 4 wins, 3 losses, because we're into week 8 coming up.
Yeah, very
Houston
much
SaberCats
even down here.
The SaberCats are actually ahead of San Diego by 1 point. How much is and Old Glory got the Free Jackets by 1 point. And that's just extra tries, less points scored on you, all these type of things, Corey. They have lots of fun ways to calculate this. And then, bam, there's RFC, LA, out there in 3rd place now, 4-3. I mean, dude, they're right behind. They're right there with the Free Jackets, Old Glory. There's a whole cluster of teams over in the 4 wins and whatever amount of losses. The Utah Warriors, I believe, had a bye week. But Seattle, on the bottom of their division, the bottom of the league, the former always, oh, no, they're not the bottom of the league. I'm sorry. Good old Anthem's down there with them. And, in fact, it's a 3-way tie for the second to the bottom. Good old Anthem. I think they're still looking for their first win as a club. God bless them.
Oh, buddy.
It's tough times. It's tough times. Year 2. Corey, it's time to move on, though, from our poor friends in Carolina and instead focus on what's going on in Missouri, which is some damn good football. The St. Louis Battlehawks find themselves at 2-0. That's right. We've completely switched over to UFL now, and we are talking about the St. Louis Battlehawks getting the win this past week. It was good times, Corey. Good times indeed. Mr. Manny Pacquiao himself. Not Manny Pacquiao, I'm sorry. Manny Watkins. Once again, like a ton of passing yards. Not like a lot, Corey. He's not like a big, like, I'm going to pass it type of guy. But he does enough.
I mean, he doesn't have to win, apparently.
No, his defense is really good, dude. Like, his defense is super good. They got the sack leader. We'll get to that later. They got the sack leader.
75% completion? That's good.
That's really good.
My man's getting the ball where he needs to be when he throws.
And he had some critical 3rd down completions, like long 3rd downs that he completed passes on. And he runs. He runs really well. He ran for 58 yards. Something they weren't getting from A.J. McCarron last year. And now Manny Pacquiao is out here running around. It turns out in a league where, like, the defense isn't, NFL-style guys, like, that whole running quarterback stuff really effective. Really good stuff.
I mean, you see it in college all the time, and this is about college level. Would you say this is above or below college level?
It's above. I would say these guys are pretty damn good. Like, you're getting the best of the best from college. You know what I mean? Like,
or they're like the best they're just below NFL level.
They're still developing, but they're like pretty damn fucking good in college. So
right.
Whether the cohesion's there, I believe it is, because they get the same amount of time as every college team does with, like, all the incoming freshmen and all that kind of stuff. Right. Corey Jacobs-Salis is running all over people, and he's leading the league in touchdowns. I think he leads the league. He probably doesn't lead the league in rushing yards because they're just frankly not giving it to him enough. He's getting 4.2 a carry. But, Manny likes to run it himself too. Like, Manny had 9 carries. Javon Howard, remember last week he beat out Sailors by like a yard or 2. This week, tough week on the road for him. 6 carries for 13 yards. So that's was rough. Tough.
But also, like, a
whole bunch of people carry the ball. Look at this. Everyone and their moms carry the ball. Like, dude, this dude's carrying the ball. Max Duggan. Dude, shout out fucking NCAA champion from the Hornet Frogs, Mr. Duggan himself. Couldn't quite hack it in the NFL, but he finds himself as the backup to Manny Watkins. But he's seen action 2 weeks in a row now because the Battlehawks have been that in control of their games that They're throwing in their backup quarterback, and
It
it's
looks
pretty
like he
funny.
threw
Just
one incomplete pass and just rushed it 4 times. Like, is this just a
it was
Wildcat
basically like
first
just
offense?
bleed out the clock. We don't want to run it back to them type of offense by the time he was in.
But it seems almost like a Wildcat first offense. If like their quarterback has more rushing attempts than their run. Well, no, the running back has more rushing attempts, but still, like 9 rushing attempts out of your quarterback. That's
I've seen some footage of these guys this year. It does not look like a Wildcat to me. It's more so just, hey, if there's an open lane, run. And
right.
Duggan and Wilkins apparently are pretty good at it. Duggan picked up a first down to ice the game.
You love
I
to
think
see
that was
it.
his basically his 13-yard rush. So I think he some of these were sacks actually instead of him rushing. But either way, who
Probably.
knows? Who knows, man? We don't watch the actual game. We just saw the highlights. All right, Corey, way to expose me. God.
We might actually watch some games this weekend. I tried to watch some games last weekend, but I was
The weekends are
sabotaged.
really busy, dude. Rugby's got me on 4 days a week right now. It's very busy
There's
times.
a lot happening in this world.
It's a lot happening, dude. But Jacob Sailors added 3 catches to his carries as well. Picked up another 25 yards there. I love this guy. He has a dope beard. He's running the ball hard. He definitely leads the league in touchdowns. Not sure about rushing yards itself. The Brahmas fall victim to the Battlehawks surge. 2-0, baby.
Once again,
Uh,
Battlehawks.
Some other games that took place. The Stallions get back on track. We were all hoping for the demise. It looks like it may or may not be happening, but probably not. The Panthers
I don't
pretty
have
much
anything
picked all the.
against them. I mean, it's kind of boring to see the same team win every
Yeah,
year.
I don't want them. I don't want them to three-peat. Like, stop. No
I think they
three-peat.
already have it.
We are against the three-peat here on Sports by Compian. Well, at least I am.
I think they have one already.
They might.
Because I think they won.
Well, didn't they won? They won 2, and then they won the first UFL, didn't they?
Yeah, they won like 2 of the AFL, and then they won
UFL.
the
Was it?
UFL.
No,
So
it
I
was
think they've.
United Football. Well, I don't forget. Whatever. But yeah, you're right. They already have the three-peat, so we can't have them fourplex it. That's crazy.
No fourplexes. No quads out here, bro. Keep
No
your
quads, dude. And the Panthers
quads
waited
in
till
your pants,
basically
man.
the last minute to like actually play some offense. Like they got like 12 points in the fourth quarter. Other than that, all Stallions were just kicking field goals. This really, they might not have scored a touchdown. Might have
That might just all be field goals, dude. Whatever that kicker is, he's signed. That boy has a job in the
we
NFL
gotta look
already.
at this. We gotta look at these stats. Did you guys score any touchdowns, or was this just a field goal game? What happened here, dude?
Field goal. Well, you can see the summary there of all the scoring.
All right, so Matt Corral threw a touchdown pass as well as 2 interceptions. Good old Matt Corral, dude. Drafted in the 3rd round, maybe 4th round by the Panthers, 2nd, something like that. Never really got on the field. And then he was here last year with the Stallions, and I think McGruver or whatever the fuck, that long-haired, really cool guy they had from the Stallions, just kept beating him out of the job. I think he's with the Packers now, or maybe washed out with the Packers, but either way, he had a shot with the Packers. But anyway, Matt Corral's come out losing that to him, so I guess he finally got a shot now that he's, that guy's moved on.
Do you remember I think it was a linebacker. His name was Scooter for the Stallions.
I think you're thinking of the guy who's the quarterback, who I'm thinking of, but I can't remember.
I think he's a linebacker. I think his name was Scooter.
Awesome.
I think he had like a great mullet, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, I remember he had long hair. Maybe he had a mullet. You might be right. Anyway, let's talk league passers, Corey. What do you think about all this? Luis Perez just out there doing the thing.
Luis Perez back again. I feel like this dude is always. I don't know how an NFL team hasn't snatched him up, because he's always just like consistently doing well. Like, didn't he get traded to the Renegades and then took them into the playoffs and lost in the championship game last year? Like he was bench warming for somebody, got traded like right before the playoffs.
That was the Renegades, so it wasn't last year. It was a year before that. So this is like his 3rd year.
Yeah, but no, he was with. Was he with the Generals?
It was the Renegades. I think it was with the.
He got traded to the Renegades, and he's on the Renegades now. But that was last year. He got traded to them. He started with a different team, where he was a backup, and then he joined the Renegades and took him to the championship. I don't remember where he was. It might have been the Brahmas.
Anyway, he's leading the league again, and Jordan Ta'amu again back with the Defenders doing his thing.
Yeah, we're gonna see that boy in 2 weeks.
Even Manny Wilkins, at 350. It's kind of funny that dude, this is like, oh yeah, it's 1 week. No, that's 2 weeks. All these guys.
Well, yeah. They're all like 100 and something a week.
Yeah. They're all under that 200.
Maybe that's why he's not in the NFL, because he has under 200 2 weeks in a row, and he's, the passing leader.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what's up with the passing. And who are they throwing it to, Corey? Oh, wait. This is different than we thought. See, this is why we're not just switching around and going. We have a whole plan here.
Willy-nilly.
No, we got leader receivers right here. Look at these guys.
So I love
They're just
that.
out here. Dude, there's a guy not even in triple digits.
Dude. I mean, that's still like 50 yards a week. That's not bad.
It's less than 50 yards a week. If it was 50 yards a week, it would be triple digits.
But, dude, the guy at the top, the only man averaging over 100 yards a week.
Yeah, good for him.
His quarterback isn't even in the top 5. So that means that, like...
There might be a couple quarterbacks.
That's true. I was going to say, if it's one quarterback, he is only throwing the ball to this guy. If you are a wide receiver on this team, you are not seeing the ball if you're not this.
I'm pretty sure the Showboats are... I think they're 0-2 as well. So they're probably playing from behind a lot. And they're like, Adams here.
Just throw it to Adams. Pretend like... Fuck it.
Brahmas are also 0-2, I want to say. So I would say the most impressive thing is the defenders over here with 2 guys at least over 100.
Spreading the ball, doing that.
That shows that they got some guys who could catch,
Receiver 1A and receiver 1B. You love to see it.
Yeah.
And
none of the St. Louis guys here.
Dion Kane, he's probably
like he's the second year at least with the Stallions. He's kind of a deep threat, big body receiver, dude. He's a big boy.
But they're always ahead, so you got to imagine they're running the ball a lot. So
they lost the previous week.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So what are they? 1-1 now?
They're 1-1.
1-1. Okay. So I guess maybe he was getting some targets last week. But I just think it's hilarious.
Maybe believe your story, Cole. But anyway, let's talk some impressive stuff. Some of that things that matter, like sacks. All right, we got Peta over here. I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name, Peta. I'm so sorry, dude. But you got 3 sacks. We love to see it. A lot of these are on 3rd down. It's a good time. But once again, the defenders showing some consistency here, Corey. They got 2 guys on this list. Both of them tied for 2nd. Both of them have 2 sacks. That's pretty good. That's a sack a game. It's good stuff.
All of these guys tied for 2nd. How about that? Yeah, sack.
Oh yeah, it's pretty funny. It's really
that dude, defenders again with fucking 2 guys in the top 5. Like
that's what I'm saying. That's what I said.
They have 2 top 5 receivers, 2 top 5 sack leaders, and they have, I think their quarterback is number 3. So like defenders they got themselves a squad. Like they're not number 1 in anything, but they're well versed.
They're balanced. And I think they are 2-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're 2-0 as well.
What I love the most of this graph though is the one dude we have a headshot of. Everybody else is like action pictures. Like the one dude, Derek Robinson, he's got a visor on. We have no idea who that man is. But then we have one guy that like we have he clearly did like a media day. He's the only one who showed up to media day, so he gets an actual headshot. Everybody else just like, nah man, here's you like on the field. Like clearly Peta, he's celebrating something. It was probably after one of his sacks. They like zoomed in on his face.
I love it. And you're probably correct. I buy in.
One thing I will say, week 2, I've not watched any of these games, but I have been seeing the highlights on Instagram.
Of course.
Fucking great. They had like these little like drone cameras. Dude, there's this great play where the receiver beats the corner falls down, the ball hits the receiver, it bounces out of him, and the corner on the floor just corrals the ball, and it's an interception. Such a wild play, and dude, you get like so close up because the drone follows that route, and you see like the action as if you're like watching it from the sideline. It's such a great video, dude. Really embarrassing.
But dude, imagine being that, for that receiver.
Really embarrassing.
Dude,
if
you're the quarterback, you gotta be pissed. If you're the quarterback, you gotta be like, dude, what?
Great camerography. I don't know how you say that, but terrible on both of them because the corner got burnt. He was literally on the floor and just managed to like corral the ball. But like, if that dude caught that ball, that was at least like a 20-yard play. because it was like maybe a 5-yard pass, but when your quarter's on the fucking floor, you're good until you find a safety. So real bad look for both of them, but just real fun camera angle.
Love it. Love it. Anyway, we'll move on from the sack leader to our last thing, which is the rushing leaders. And look at this, Corey. One team is on the list. Well, two teams are just running this whole thing. The Renegades and the St. Louis Battlehawks. This is what St. Louis does, okay? This is why we didn't have any receivers on there. This is why Manny Wilkins, why he's not on the passing leader, because they're just running it down people's throats, okay? Jacob Sailors.
Pass. Ball security, man. Ball security.
He's the way, the truth, and the light, this Jacob, you know? Even Devontae's over 100. Manny's over 100. It's over 100 festival over there in St. Louis, Corey. We just run it down people's throats. That's how they do it. I love
a quarterback in the top 5 rushers. That's so great.
That's awesome. But then, yeah, the Renegades apparently also want to run it down your throat. So a lot of people try to run it down people's throats. And it's working
safe,
for them.
Dude. I mean, and you just...
Yeah.
Running just works.
It's good
quarterbacks are hard to come by.
Yeah, if you can pull off a good run game, it's a good time.
Also, I just love this dude's name, Day Hunter.
Yeah. Day Hunter, yo, what up?
Yo, what up, Day?
Looks like they got a little bit of like... Dude. It looks like they got a decent amount of like, you know, like, what am I looking for here? Oh, a little bit of power, a little bit of speed. It looks like Day is kind of a fast guy. I'm just basing this purely on a headshot picture, Corey. But I can sense when people are fast.
He's got slim cheeks.
I can sense when people are fast, dude. And the other guy, he looks scary. He look like the league leader. He looks scary. So like that tells me he's got him by 4 yards. He's got Jacob by 4 yards. He's also a bruiser. So it's funny that the two bruisers are leading the league.
It's probably like the Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery combo, where like you have the Sonic and Knuckles.
Yeah. Anyway, dude, we covered MLR. Big win for the Hounds. They find themselves at the top of the league. Big win for the St. Louis Battlehawks over in the UFL. We are moving on to week 3 of UFL. We are moving on to week 8 of the MLR, Corey. That's right. MLR is going to the playoffs soon. Are you excited about this?
Hell yeah, dude.
Where
can the folks at home, me included, watch this MLR? Is it something we have to get a pass for? Is it something you
It is watch? On ESPN Plus now, which I'm not sure was the best move overall for the MLR community. You used to be able to watch this free on the MLR network, which, granted, most people were not watching. Now they're on ESPN Plus. It is a big move in the right direction for rugby, but it's also like the hardcore fan base is like, all right, so now what? We gotta get ESPN Plus, which is why I haven't really seen any Hounds.
Well, it seems like, I mean, I hate to say it, dude, that's just Disney taking over the world. ESPN Plus is included with Disney Plus. Like, dude, they even everything that's on Disney Plus is on. Everything that's on Hulu is now on Disney Plus. Like they bought Hulu. You can have Hulu as a separate thing, but it's just all included there. It's super sketchy.
It's all bundle, which is kind of the best way to do it. At least I actually am grateful for like one thing that they did that is like you get 4 for them, and it's like not that much more, like $10 more maybe than most of the services. But like Netflix is charging like 20 for just themselves, and then you look at these guys charging what, like 25, and you get 4 of them or some crazy shit.
But also Disney's like super evil. Like, did you hear that by
Netflix is
well, so by creating an account with Disney, in the terms and agreements, you basically agree to never sue them. So like this lady, did you hear about this? The lady that died, and then they tried to sue, and they're like, you can't.
Wow.
It's all very sketchy. But maybe that's just what has to happen. Like you said, if you got to buy one thing, or if you're gonna buy one thing, that one does make the most sense because you do get the most with it. You get your sports packages, you get
sponsor for Disney. Listen, Disney, we don't think you're the coolest corporation out there.
I think you're downright evil.
But we would take your money. We would take your evil money.
I am too poor to stand against big conglomerations, which is why
now, would you change how the show is run? No, not really. Unless you wanted to edit for us, that'd be cool. But besides that, we would still talk shit about sports. But You could be our sponsor, Disney.
Dude,
So
all 6 of
you
our
got
viewers.
so much money, dude. Like they just threw a whole bunch of money at Snow White that didn't work, and you knew it wasn't gonna work. So like, how about
man, that was so great. I watched a
how
whole
about
video
you?
on that coming apart. I loved it
Love
so
it,
much.
love it, love it. But no, how about instead of wasting all that money, you just give us like a small fraction of that, and we'll continue to talk to our audience about you.
Dude, give us like $10 an episode.
Dude, $10 an episode for sure.
We're doing it for free now, so fuck it.
We would absolutely take $10, but we want to negotiate about long term. We're not signing anything long term at $10 an hour a week because you're gonna realize how awesome we are, and you're gonna want to pay us $100 per episode.
100, dude. 100 per episode. It's gonna be wild.
It's gonna be so crazy, dude. We're gonna spend it on beer.
Definitely. I'm gonna buy the beer either way.
Yeah, you might as well pay for it so we can really make this a good show. Anyway, we gotta get out of here. Sports by Compian. We've covered the sports. We talked about some stuff, and we talked about Disney. So love us, self and subscribe. I don't even know what